Hey everyone, this is Trendcrave here, and in today's video, we're going to be going through the top 5 dumbest 911 calls. These people, they called up operators and pretty much wasted their time for really stupid reasons. You're going to love it. Before this video though, if you guys hate people who waste 911 operators' times, then make sure to leave a like on this video, and of course, comment down below and tell me if you know anybody who's called 911 for a really dumb reason. Maybe that person was you. I don't know what your life is like. Tell me these stories down in the comment section below, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter. A link to that will be down in the description. But let's go to get in this top 5, which is actually a top 7. Number 7 spot, we're going to start this list off with one that I think may actually be a fake, but if it's not, I'll tell you what, it's a gem. I actually laughed my ass off listening to it. This involves a guy who was calling up because basically his wife was attacked by a warthog. I don't know how common warthog attacks are, but I guess he was explaining to the dispatcher where he was at, the address, and had a little bit of trouble with that address.
Yeah, my wife got attacked by a warthog real bad, and I need someone to come up with an ambulance and pick her up. Okay, sir. Can you give me your address? Yeah, we're at 1825 Eucalyptus Drive. Okay, could you spell that for me, sir? I'm going to drag her on over to Oak Street, and you can pick her up there.
What number 6, I'm not even gonna lie, this is some sitcom level type of stuff right here. This involves a 68-year-old woman, and she was having some fun. It was New Year's Day, she was drinking, and I guess she ran out of beer at some point and needed more. She obviously was too drunk to go and, I guess, get it herself, or she just didn't want to, so she actually asked her granddaughter, I have no idea how old her granddaughter is, to go and buy some more beer for her, and her granddaughter actually ended up refusing to buy more beer, and that's when this 68-year-old woman actually got angry and slapped her own granddaughter because she wouldn't go and buy more beer. This was the point where the 68-year-old woman decided she had a beer emergency, and she needed to call up 911 about it and ask them to go and buy beer for her because her granddaughter wouldn't, and pretty much confessed to hitting her granddaughter. I mean, how stupid can you be?
It was New Year's Day, and Rosie Pate must have run out of beer. While most people would go to the store and buy more, Pate called 911. According to a police affidavit, when the 68-year-old's granddaughter refused to go buy her a beer, Pate called 911 to report her beer emergency. The police report says Pate told officers after she slapped her granddaughter, she called them for police assistance in getting a beer.
Number 5, this is an interesting one to say the least. This involves a guy who was drunk and also a girl who was drunk. So I guess they came back together to this guy's apartment or house or whatever, and ended up doing the dirty. Let's just leave it at that. So she ended up afterwards sleeping on his bed and didn't leave. I guess he wasn't happy that she stayed, not necessarily because she stayed, but because she was a very heavy snorer. So she was snoring just very, very wildly. And this guy couldn't sleep because of it. And I guess he thought the best course of action was to call up 911 and basically ask the dispatcher to send somebody out there to physically remove her from his bed and apartment or house. And I guess somebody actually ended up coming out there, but they basically told him, like, you know, this is ridiculous. What I really wonder, though, is what this girl was thinking when she woke up to this entire situation.
I was wondering if you could send an officer over to my place to have somebody physically removed.
Who do you want removed?
Just a girl. She's sleeping in my bed.
She's in your bed right now?
She's just snoring away like a train.
Is that her snoring that I'm hearing?
Yeah, she's snoring like a train.
And before we have a guy who is purposely and blatantly just trying to waste people's time, including operators, firefighters, and police officers. Overall, just a bad thing to do because he's putting, you know, other people's lives in danger because he's wasting their time, and on top of that, he's, you know, just money being wasted also. But this guy, he actually was calling up 911 and reporting fake fires and shots fired, just random things like that at this Taco Bell. Over a period of several days, he would do it a couple times, and each time police officers and firefighters showed up. And the only fires or shots fired in the Taco Bell that they were able to find were in the bathroom, and that was more along the lines of people shitting out diarrhea. After a couple times of this happening, though, they were able to figure out who this dude was and tracked where he was at, and he ended up being arrested.
Officers say he texted 911 repeatedly to report a fire at the Taco Bell on Jefferson Boulevard. He also reported shots fired at the restaurant. Each time, police and firefighters would respond, and each time, they found nothing. When police say Mitchell reported another fire at the Taco Bell, this time Mitchell didn't go very far. Officers tracked his phone to a house less than a mile away.
Over in 3, this one's a bit different from all the other clips on this list because every single clip on this list so far has been dumb because it's been basically called in by a person for a really stupid reason. This one is actually not from a person. This involves a couple dogs, specifically 2 dogs, that called 911 over a period of 30 minutes 16 times. Now, I have no idea how they managed to do this or how this happened. Apparently, this cell phone was on an emergency call only setting, and one of the dogs, or both of the dogs, I have no idea what they were doing, started pressing the button to call 911, and every time the dispatcher would pick up the phone call, all you could hear in the background is dogs barking. After all these calls, a police officer was sent out there, and pretty much everybody was confused. The police officers, the owners of these dogs, it was funny.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
So we were dispatched together to a 911 hang-up call at a residence in Lakeville. Shortly after clearing, dispatch advised us they had multiple additional 911 calls, and all they could hear in the background was dogs barking.
Hello? Hello, 911?
And those 911 hang-up calls continued 16 times. The only suspects were these doggone residents.
Pretty much, this one actually involves a kid, and this kid, he called up this 911 dispatcher because he was having some trouble with his fractions homework. He had a bad day at school, and then he had to come home and do homework, and he didn't know how to do it very well, so I guess for some reason he thought it would be a good idea to call 911, which, let's be honest, alright, it's a little bit cute, and the dispatcher thought it was pretty cute also, but it is a pretty dumb reason to call 911 altogether, and it is a waste of the operator's time, even though she thought it was cute. But she ended up helping him with his homework a little bit, and they both ended the call with a smile. So it was a little bit more of a heartwarming, wholesome one, I guess you could say. Still dumb, though, but heartwarming and wholesome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Lafayette Police Dispatcher Antonia Bundy received a 911 call expecting an emergency, but found herself in a very different position.
You had a bad day at school?
Yeah, I just came to tell you that.
The child had an emergency. It was to get help solving his math problem.
And fun, boy, starting this video off with 2 of the dumbest people I've ever seen in my entire life. These 2 guys, they're dealers, and they've got some of the devil's lettuce, a big old bag of it in their car, and they're actually trying to smuggle it across the border into Idaho. And I guess for some reason, they actually decided that they were going to get high while they were smuggling it. That was a bad decision. In fact, they actually got so high that they got super paranoid while they were driving, and I guess they thought that for some reason there were cops surrounding them in civilian cars, so they thought they were being tailed by a bunch of different police officers, and that they were being followed for miles upon miles. Now, these cars were obviously just normal civilians, but they thought it was police officers, and they just wanted it to be over with. They wanted them to pull them over and just get the thing on with, because they were too paranoid. And this actually caused them to call up 911 and basically explain the entire situation, admit everything in this phone call, and got themselves arrested. Like, they literally pulled over and had their hands above their heads waiting for police officers.
We're the 2 dumbasses that got caught trying to bring some stuff through your border, and all your cops are just driving around us like a bunch of jack wagons. I just really would like you guys to end it. Yeah, a bunch of your cops driving around a bunch of civilian cars, just not wanting to pick us up. I don't know what's the deal. I was just wondering if you could help us out and just end it.
Both men had their hands behind their head. They told the cops they were surrendering, and the which was inside of a dog kennel, was on the sidewalk ready for the police to take away.
Those are the clips I have for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you leave a like on this video. If we can break 10,000 likes, that would be insanely awesome. I really appreciate that. Also, make sure to comment down below and tell me which one of these clips is your favorite. Which one of these dumb 911 calls was the dumbest one, which one just irritated you the most, all that kind of stuff. And let me know if you have any stories of your own about any dumb 911 calls. Maybe one of your friends called up 911. Maybe that person was you when you were a kid. I don't know what your life is like. Tell me any stories down in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter. A link to that will be down in the description. And also, if you want to see a video similar to this one where it's actually the 911 operators who are doing really stupid and crazy stuff instead of the people calling 911, then make sure to go over and check that out. I'll leave a link to it down in the description, as well as an annotation on the outro screen. It's specifically about the worst 911 operators who ended up getting fired for dumb things. So I think that you'll like that, especially if you like this one. But anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later, though. Shebang, bitches.